Uh. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How we all doing? I'm in the ocean today. uh, I wanted to black out my background, and this is the best I could find. Yeah, anytime I'm underwater on trades now, I'm just gonna start live streaming and just hop back in the ocean. Z, what's good, brother? How you guys doing? Well, I'm gonna wait like 2 minutes and then we'll start getting into it. For a lot of you guys, I mean, if you have trading experience, it's probably gonna be stream later without, yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope so. I hope so. For a lot of you guys, it's gonna be fucking it's gonna be probably pretty boring for you, but I just wanted to come on here specifically because we have a new influx of members. And I know some people don't know where to start. And as much as we have a lot of education, it might be better received in a live setting like this. So thought I'd get on here and basically just go over it all. Ray, what's going on, brother? Cypress, how you doing, man? Who else we got? Redneck, what's good? Spence, obviously. Spence the goat. Frobe, Alien. Let's go, baby. We'll wait like 2 more minutes and we'll get into it. My eyes look crazy black. Yeah, yeah. Well, dude, I have dark eyes to begin with. If I had fucking blue eyes, I'd look like a goddamn vampire. Broke, how you been, brother? How you been? Looking good, man. Looking good. AYN, all you need. All you need. So preliminarily, what I'm going to be going over just over these next few workshops. So obviously, going to start with how you actually, get money onto your futures account, how to begin trading, and just some caveats and some nuances that I think are important for everybody to know and understand. I know a lot of members have been having difficulties, specifically when it comes to catching trades on a lower time frame. And the reality of the situation is that might not be a viable option for everybody, but we'll go over it all. We'll go over it all. Give it like 20 more seconds. I see some people hopping in and out, and yeah, like I said, for a lot of you guys, it's probably going to be a little bit boring, so I apologize, but somebody's got to do it, right? Somebody's got to do it. I mean, even if I help two, three, four of you guys, I mean, it's worth it for me. Oh, Kaz, this is my beater, bro. This is my beater. If any of you guys are looking to get into the watch game, this should be your first watch 100% of the time. No questions asked. No questions asked about it. T-shirt, suit, fucking literally anything. I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now. I mean, literally, it's the best. It's the best. It's the absolute best. But yeah, let's get into it. So right off the bat, I mean, I'm sure all of you at this point already have an exchange downloaded on your phone, on your desktop, whatever it may be. Um, so I'll just start getting into it, and we'll go, and I'll pause for questions as we go, and please feel free to ask any questions that pop up, because chances are if you have a question, somebody else has it. So don't feel bad if you do have a question. Like I said, chances are somebody else has that exact same question. So if you're the one to ask it, you're not only doing yourself a service, you're doing somebody else a service. But um, right off the bat, the amount of people that I've talked to in this group that don't have TradingView downloaded on their phone or on their they don't have it readily available on their desktop is actually insane. So right off the bat, make sure you guys have a TradingView account. Right now, Zach, what's good, bro? Right now, TradingView, you can do their Cyber Monday deal. It's not crazy expensive, and I know that's all relative. But for what we're all trying to accomplish, it's a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. 70% off. Must get TradingView Premium. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can add uh extra indicators with Premium. You can add extra alerts. The amount of people that I know, like I said, that don't use it or just don't set alerts to begin with. I mean, setting alerts changes your trading entirely. Changes your trading entirely. So make sure you have TradingView downloaded on your phone, on your laptop, wherever your trading terminal is, wherever you operate the most. Make sure you have TradingView readily available. And there are more and more caveats and nuances than that. There are ways that you can set your alerts to be louder to wake you up at night and stuff like that. Depends how deep you want to get into it. Alerts fuck up my sleep schedule. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what I was getting at. But so have TradingView. Get your exchange downloaded. I listed 3 exchanges. These are all very viable exchanges. Bybit, Binance, Blowfin. These 2 you're going to need a KYC for. And if you're not in America, chances are you're going to be fine. Blowfin, non KYC. I I recommend all 3 of these exchanges. They're all fantastic. Kaz, have a good one, brother. And yeah, I'll shoot you my collection in the DMs, bro. I'm picking up a few pieces in the next few days. That's actually kind of how do I explain it? It's kind of my next play. I'm starting to pick up a lot more watches because I think in a year and a half from now, once people start taking profits from the TradFi market and crypto market, watches are going to explode in the same manner that they did in 2022. So I'm starting to stack up. Um, I'm gonna get a Nautilus, Zach. I'm gonna get a Nautilus, and then I'm gonna pick up a few GMTs. I mean, it's a no brainer. It's an absolute no brainer. Um, just look at the price of watches right now compared to COVID. We're now hitting the same levels that we did. You can actually chart watches, believe it or not. They have an app where you can see historical price action on the value of watches. It's a little bit expensive to do, but uh, yeah, yeah. But okay, we'll keep it rolling. So make sure you have a TradingView downloaded. Make sure you have a futures account set up. For me, I recommend 30% of your portfolio at maximum to be focused on futures, right? You've heard me talking in my channel a lot about the importance of spot in a bull market. I think the majority of your holdings should be in spot. And I would hate to see you guys make 1/10, 1/20th the amount of money that you would had you picked up spot because you're focused on lower time frame moves. And I get it. I get it, right? I send out a lot of trades on leverage. I love leverage trading. I love it. I look forward to it every single day when I wake up in the morning. When I say that, I sound like an addict, and that's up for you guys to decide. But I mean, I think we all do. That's why we're here. But there's a time and a place for it. And for me right now, the overall trend is so greatly defined for us right now that I don't see the need to try to catch moves on very, very, very tight invalidation because we know where the overall trend is going, right? Few weeks ago, a few months ago, you'd see me play a lot of 2-3% stops. Lately, it's been 5, 6, 7, 10, 15. Doesn't really matter because I know the overall trend is in the upward direction. I'm not getting as bogged down on lower time frame moves because the bigger picture is clear and defined for me. But make sure you keep that, guys. Or make sure you keep that in mind. And then also always keep cash on the side, right? Always keep cash on the side to buy the dip, right? If we get a market wide macro dip, I will deploy a sizable amount of capital. Sizable amount of capital. The problem is when you guys exhaust all your capital at one stage in the market, if you get a dip, you don't have any more to deploy. So there's massive opportunity cost in that. And yeah, it's double edged because you could say, okay, well, if I time the market correctly and I deploy all of my capital at one time, then I'm not going to need to redeploy. And yes, that's true. But the chances of that happening are a lot slimmer. It's just the reality of the situation, right? Manage your expectations when it comes to trading. Um, so yeah, I think most people have all of this figured out. I'm sure most of you guys have a trading view. I'm sure most of you guys already have an exchange downloaded. But I thought I'd just touch on that in case people don't. Right? There have been people who I know that are trading with sizable portfolios that did not have trading view downloaded. Didn't even make sense to me. I'm like, listen, I don't know, I don't understand how you're doing this, but okay. Um, but yeah, keep it rolling. Identify your trading style. Right? Trading is not a one size all fits all activity. Most successful traders tailor their strategies based on your time constraints, your personality, and just your mental fortitude, right? Are you willing to take multiple losses in a row? Are you willing to stay at your computer for hours at a time? Right? You have to define what your trading strategy is going to look like based on your own personal constraints. Do you have the time for it? Do you work a job? Right? These are things that you need to be actively thinking about. If you're working a job, that's no problem at all. That doesn't mean you can't be successful in trading. It's just you might want to implement a strategy that is not as hands on. You might want to focus more on swings, more on spot purchases because it doesn't require as much attention, right? Think about it from like a basic econ understanding, right? The utility of sitting at your computer and being focused on your trading needs to be reflected in the amount of profit and your trading ability to do so, right? If you don't have the time for it and it's taking away from your job where you're making income, then you might need to start implementing new strategies. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Right? And all of these have caveats because you could also say if you trade low time frame, but you have the ability to stop once your daily goal is met, that's okay as well. If you can hop on in the morning before work or after work at night for 2-3 hours, hit a few scalps, hit your daily goal, and then you're out, that's perfectly okay as well. It's perfectly okay. Um, if you have limited time or work or full-time jobs, swing trading might be a better fit. Swing traders obviously focus on longer term setups that take several days or weeks to reach their targets, right? We're seeing that a lot with these spot trades that I've sent out. They're taking anywhere from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 days, really doesn't matter. But I am in fantastic, I'm in on these coins at fantastic prices. Now my job is done. I don't have to do a fucking thing. I can sit back. I don't have to nurse those positions as much as I would have to nurse a lower time frame setup. It's just there is no arguing this. There's no arguing this. It's just non-negotiable. If you can dedicate significant time to trading, you might explore lower time frame strategies, right? Scalping requires more frequent monitoring of the market, but it can yield quicker returns, right? You're going to get in and out of positions quicker. However, you're going to need to be at your setup and actually dedicate your time to that. I know Tariq's having a bit of a go right now where members who I don't think have the ability to manage lower time frame trades are taking lower time frame trades. And they're like, well, what the fuck's going on? It's like, well, what do you expect? You're taking a setup that's going to take anywhere from 5 to 25 minutes to play out, yet you're not checking your phone for an hour. You're not at your setup for an hour. So what seriously, what do you expect, right? Um, so yeah, really figure out what your trading style is, what fits best for you based on your personal time constraints, and go from there. Um, I'll pause, look at questions for a second. How would you suggest learning high time frame and swing plays? The thing is, higher frame plays are very, very, very easy. I mean, it's basic resistance and support. Like for me, I'll go through some of these higher time frame trades that I took. I mean, daily chart, reclaimed a key level, got in, never looked back. Same thing, API 3. Daily chart, reclaimed a key level, got in, never looked back. TIA, a little bit of a different story, was just fucking, what's the word I'm looking for here? TIA, I had to nurse this position for a while. I really did. I had to take a lot of shit on Tia. A lot of people have clowned me for Tia. So this one's near and dear to me. Um, this is a case of me believing in a project fundamentally and believing that the coin is going to be trading at higher prices in the future. Sometimes it's that simple, right? As people who are very active in the space, I feel like a lot of us tend to uh is it right curve? Yeah, right curve too much. Right? There's a little bit of a curse of knowledge. I don't know if you can think back to times when your knowledge of cryptocurrency was very elementary, where you bought a project because you simply believed in it and you believed that it was going to be trading at higher prices. There are times where you're going to outperform day traders because you're willing to sit through drawdowns purely because you believe in the project and you're not nursing these positions. There are times where traders can't stand to be in drawdown for that long. They end up capitulating their positions and then retail outperforms them. And that's not always the case, but thought I'd bring that up. But for me right now, whoever asked the higher time frame plays, I'm just looking for alts that are breaking out of accumulation. So I mean, like EDU, this is textbook. I mean, you can pull up Wyckoff distribution. I mean, it's textbook. So no, I need accumulation, dumbass. There we go. I mean, it's textbook. It's exactly what I was taking. Just an alt breaking out of accumulation. Now my job's done. I have the position. I'm in at a great entry. I don't need to do a single thing. I don't need to nurse this position. If I get taken out, break even, I get taken out, break even. That's as simple as it is. And I love lower time frame trading. I fucking love it. I do, I do, I do. But I also have the time to do it, right? I dedicate the time in my day. I wake up early in the morning. I'm scanning the market consistently. I have fucking countless alerts set ready to execute. And that's just not the case for every individual. And that's perfectly okay. You just got to find what works for you. That's it. That's all you can do. So, going further, managing your expectations, right? Balance and realism are key. It's fun, it's exciting to engage in fast paced trades, lower time frame trades. But the fact remains that it's not suitable for everybody, right? Scalping lower time frame trades require constant attention, discipline, expertise. You have to know what you're doing more so, I would say, on a lower time frame scale than on a higher time frame scale. But many traders cannot manage alongside other commitments. That's kind of what we've been talking about for a little bit. So maybe I'm overkill here, but I think that's very important for you guys to understand. I think that's very, very, very important for you guys to understand. Because you might be somebody who's not seeing the returns that you thought you would be seeing or that you want to be seeing. And it may just be because the strategy that you're implementing in your trading is simply not realistic for the time that you have based on your constraints. Constraints can be job, can be family, can be social constraints. I dealt with that for a little bit back when I used to give a fuck what people thought, right? It's like, man, I'm not going out at all. I'm not seeing people. Now I don't give a fuck, right? But there was a time where it's like I'm spending all of my time trading. Is this really realistic? And at the time, no, it wasn't realistic. But I didn't pick those friends. I picked the trading, and I would do it 100 times over, 100 times out of 100. As someone with extensive experience in the space, I've adapted my strategies based on my availability, kind of like we just talked about. Um, Often I'm taking lower time frame trades due to my dedicated focus on it and my time constraints and the amount of time that I have to put on it, or rather hone in. But I also incorporate a lot of swing trades that allow for me to just take my hands off. I don't need to do anything. These past 7, 8 trades, I don't need to do a single thing. It's great. It's great. I mean, it's especially great right now because I wake up every morning and my portfolio is trading higher. That's the best feeling in the world. You're waking up every single morning and the numbers just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's fucking lovely, man. So nice. Um, this flexibility not only diversifies my trading portfolio, right? So not only do I have these lower time frame trades playing out, I have these higher time frame trades playing out, and It ensures I'm not overburdened by the emotional stress of constant market engagement. Like, I think that we got to lift the stigma a little bit on how much trading can take from you emotionally. It's very difficult to manage your emotions in trading. Make no mistake about that. Everybody struggles with it. And if they don't struggle with it, then they were born with a gift or they're lying. Right? Everybody struggles with it. It's the reality of the situation, especially if you're trading with relative size. It doesn't need to be, quantitative size, but size that's relative to your total net worth or the total amount of capital that you have. If you're trading with sizable amounts, of course it's going to affect you when a trade goes wrong or right. I mean, talk to your friends, talk to your family, and say, hey, do you notice a difference? It might be hard for you to do, but do you notice a difference in when the market's going up and when the market's going down in my personal emotions? Am I a nicer guy when the market's going up? Am I a shittier person when the market's going down? I mean, these are very, very, very real things. It's not something that a lot of people talk about. It's kind of hard to talk about. Um, but it's the reality of the situation. It really is. It's the reality of the situation. So how do we avoid those things? You don't over risk. You manage your expectations. That's all you can do. Really, all that you can do. If you do those things, it'll take a lot of weight off your shoulders. Of course, if you're approaching trading with an all or nothing approach, of course you're going to lose your fucking mind. How could you expect to perform well if this is all or nothing for you? Right? It's a lot more difficult. Make no mistake, you can. You really can, but it's a lot more difficult. And I'm not telling people where to put their capital, right? None of this is financial advice. I'm not a CFP yet. In a few weeks I will be, or a little bit longer than that. But it's not, you know, it's not something that I feel like a lot of people talk about. So I wanted to bring that up. I really did. I'll pause a second for questions if there's anything you guys got. Um, if not, I'll keep going. Give it like 25, 30 seconds. All clear? Good to go? And I know a lot of this is boring for you guys. I understand it. Truly, I do. I do. Um, but sometimes these things need to be talked about, specifically for new members. I wish that somebody would have drilled it into my mind as early as possible. Right? It's very cliche, but breaking bad habits is very difficult. It's a lot easier to just start off with good habits. So I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of family members, I have a lot of people that I don't even like that are hitting me up talking about getting into crypto and how to start their journey. And this is what I'll direct them to. It's like, listen, start creating good habits now. Start creating good habits. It'll be a lot easier for you to maintain consistency in your trading and manage your stress if you have the right habits. If you don't have the right habits, you're going to lose your mind. You're going to lose your mind. Seriously. Like, people make jokes about it on Twitter. It's like, I've been in the crypto market for 7 years. I'm 25, and it's a picture of like a 95-year-old. And yeah, it's a joke, but it's a very stressful environment. It's a very, 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 very stressful environment, and you just need to be able to manage it. Um, if you have the discipline and the mental fortitude to endure those ups and downs. I had a conversation with actually somebody in the chat about, managing massive, massive, massive swings in P&L. It's difficult. It's difficult. There's sometimes I don't understand. There are times where I don't even understand how people do it. Um, but that's their strategy. That's their approach. You just got to find what works for you. Um, Start bridging into risk management a little bit. Dallas went over this. He's ran a lot of workshops, but like I said, I know we got a lot of new members in here, so we'll keep it rolling. But obviously, never trade with more than 30% of your portfolio in a futures account. That's my personal advice. If you choose to take that, good. If not, then just be prepared for a little bit more stress. If you think you can handle that, then handle it. Me personally, I truly believe that most are better off with the majority of their holdings in spot bags. Um, Obviously, have stops on your plays or some invalidation. It doesn't need to be a hard stop loss, but have some invalidation on your trade, right? Have some invalidation that says, hey, I was wrong. You know, I'm a fucking egotistical individual, right? It's very difficult for me to say that I was wrong. I hate saying that I was wrong. That's why I hate losing so much, because it means I was wrong. But the fact of the matter is, like, there are times where I need to say, listen, this idea is invalidated. I was wrong. And that takes you putting your pride aside a little bit. Not everybody can do that. But that's what leads to portfolios being blown up. So, keep that in mind. Obviously, we've talked about it a lot. Diversify your strategy. Balance your short-term trades, your scalping with long-term investments. Find projects that you believe in. Find projects that you believe in. John, Zach, Eli, literally pretty much everybody in the group were talking about projects that they believe in. You could have DCA'd these projects for the last 6 months and you would be in fantastic profits. It's a lot easier to hold positions in a drawdown when you believe in the project. Because, okay, if the price starts going lower, then good. That just means I can buy more at a better price than what I think the fair value for this project actually is. That kind of goes into investing psychology and what Buffett's talked about all his life. But being able to get in at lower prices comparative to what you think fair value for the project is huge. It's huge. And that's just a lot easier when you believe in the project. If you believe in it, it's like, perfect, it's going lower, I can buy more. I can buy more. And now, on the backside of that, it's a double-edged sword, because at the same time, if you believe in a project, make sure you're still taking profits along the way. Because inversely, I've seen people who have believed in projects and round-tripped bags over their lifetime. Bags. We're talking fucking bags. And that's something you got to manage as well, right? Taking profit is never a bad idea. It's never a bad idea. We'll get into it a little bit more. When the RR is right, taking profit's never a bad idea, ever. Chowder, what's good, brother? You're going to be clam chowder after this, bro. The goal is to not win every trade. It's about remaining consistently profitable over time for a longer period of time, right? It kind of goes on the back end of, it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. Same goes for trading. Consistency over time will beat home run plays 9 times out of 10, because those people who are hitting home run plays, there's a chance they give that money right back. There's a chance they give that money right back. When it comes to defining risk and percent of account loss on invalidation, I never risk more than 5% of my account on a given trade. Spot holdings are a little bit different. I don't want to tell you guys how to manage your spot trades. That's just a slippery slope. But depending on the setup that I'm taking, I would recommend anywhere from 1 to 5% risk. And yeah, there's variance there. 1% and 5%, there's a big difference there. But it really depends on your confidence in the setup and on the invalidation and on the liquidity of the pair. There's a lot of nuances and caveats that go into that. And that's what we're going to be diving into over the next few weeks, right? What are those caveats? Should you be risking 5% of your portfolio on a 3-minute scalp on an illiquid meme pair? Probably not. Probably not. Let's be honest. Probably not. Can it work? Can it work? Yes. Can it work consistently? That's a different story. That's a very different story. So you've heard everybody in the group drill it into your minds for months and months, depending on how long you've been here. But risk management and expectation management is key. It's absolutely key. In the same way that you have your invalidation on trades, have your take profits on trades. At what point are you going to say, okay, I was right, now let's pay myself for being right? At what point? If not, I mean, it's the same thing as fucking going on crash on Roulette or Stake and just letting it ride. It's like, at what point are you going to pay yourself, man? Those are two very real caveats that people struggle with, right? And I talked about it a little bit last night. Don't just pay yourself and keep your money on your exchange. Pay yourself and rotate into spot holdings, or pay yourself and get that money in your fucking bank account. Put it into your bank account. If you are making money that can change your day-to-day life, put that money in your bank account. Don't give it back. Put that money in your bank account. Because the more and more your life is set up, IRL, the easier it's going to be for you to trade. Right? Like I have backup plans, right? If everything went wrong, it's not going to go wrong. I know in my heart of hearts it's not going to go wrong. But if everything went wrong, if something happened where fucking the crypto market went to zero, I have backup plans. I have exit strategies, right? That allows me to be okay with that allows me to be okay with the risk that I have in the market, right? If I lost my portfolio, would it fucking kill me? Would it hurt so bad? Yes, it would. Would it ruin my life? No. I'd find a way. I have other plans. And that goes hand in hand with you know, managing your strategy and managing the time that you dedicate to trading, right? Like if you're going all in, like I said, it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder to perform, right? Like as an athlete, my best performances are when I feel like there's no pressure on me. Trading and athletics have a lot of synchronicity, right? Trading and athletics, you can relate them to each other a lot. And for me, when I feel like there's no pressure, it's when I'm trading my best. Now, if in the back of my mind, I'm setting unrealistic goals for myself, I need to make X amount this month. Hey, last month I cleared X figure. This month I want to clear, I want to beat that. Starts getting a little bit more difficult because you're putting that pressure on yourself. You don't need, pressure's what you put on yourself, guys. Pressure's what you put on yourself. So if you are putting all of this pressure on yourself to make massive amounts of money in trading, unrealistic amounts, then it's just going to be more difficult. It's going to be more difficult. And there are going to be people that disagree with that. And I get it. I get it. I really do. I got, 1 second. I'm getting alerts popping off. I get it. Um, there are a lot of people who have had success going all in, but for the same amount of people that have had success doing that, there's a loser on the back end. Right? How many people do you guys know that have lost their account? How many big accounts on Twitter do you know that have blown their account? People that have been preaching to people for years and years and years about how to trade who have blown up their accounts. Right? Like it's not just novice people that are doing this. It's experienced traders that are doing this. Just don't be one of those people. It's that simple. You just don't do it. Keep it rolling. Start getting into some RR here. Oops, let me go back to this. Oh no, I'm big. Sorry. Synchronicity, damn. GRE. What's GRE? I uh I actually got a lot of my vocab from a some books I read, and then also we had a fantastic program in high school that most people hated doing, but like I'm a reading guy. I'll give myself some credits here. The ACT, which is Ohio's or actually the United States like fucking testing for high school people. Um, the reading section I got a perfect score on. Like I love reading. I feel like every individual should read as much as they can, and not everybody has the time for it, but through reading you'll be able to be a more eloquent individual. You'll be able to express your thoughts better. And most people just want to be understood. Most people just want to express how they're feeling. And it's hard to do that if you don't know the words to use. Um, Kevin, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I do. A sizable amount of my net worth is in real estate. A sizable amount. Probably more than I should, but it's okay. Um, we'll start going into RR here. But so RR in and of itself doesn't mean much when you're not also looking at win rate. Right? So if you're consistently taking 2-to-1 trades, if you're consistently closing out, and also too, it's another caveat that I think a lot of people fuck up on. Realized RR. Realized RR is a lot different than RR on a trade. If you're taking a 3R trade, but you're closing out half of your position at 2R, it is not a 3R trade. Your realized RR is different. Let that be known. I hope everybody knows that. I really do. I hope everybody knows that. So Jesus Christ, the chart that I used, I'm even having trouble struggling to read. Hold on, one sec. Okay, so basically, yeah, if you're taking 1R trades and you're fully closing out at 1R profit, you need to win more than 50% of your trades. That's what it is. If you're taking 2R trades, the number's less. If you're taking 3R trades, the number's less. So your win rate can be lower. There are individuals who I've read about in the investing world, specifically TradFi, who we're talking years and years and years of losses erased by one trade because the RR on that trade was so fantastic. They knew they were right and they let the trade ride, and it's kind of counterintuitive to what we talked about earlier. That's not something I recommend, but just define your risk going into trades, right? Define what you're going to gain and what you're going to lose. If you're going to gain $100 on a trade, but you're going to lose $50 on that trade if it hits your invalidation, then you need to win more than 50% of your trades to be profitable. That's as simple as it is. And in a group like ours, that shouldn't be hard for anybody. That should not be hard for anybody. But what is hard is doing it in a manner that your risk is managed. Because how many of you, and don't feel bad about saying it, how many of you, after having a winning trade or even a losing trade, decide, hey, I'm going to size up. I'm going to size up here. I could say, I'm not speaking for you guys, but I could say probably 90% of you guys don't have fixed risk in your trading. And you could have two winning trades, right? You could have two fantastic banger trades. And you're like, fuck it, I'm on a heater, bet more. Trade loses, back out even on the day. And now that you're back even, you're like, fuck, now I got to get back to where I was at. So you keep that same risk that you had on the losing trade, maybe even bump it a little bit more. Next thing you know, you're down 3 or 4% of your portfolio. Now you're down 3 or 4% on the day. There you go. Exactly, Kev. Now you're down 3 and 4% on the day. And once you're down 3 and 4%, then what? You're going to stop there. Most individuals don't. It's a smart thing to do. What do most individuals do? They enter another trade that they have no business being in. So I didn't add it. I didn't add it on here. But after 2 losses in a day, I'm pretty much done for I'm done. I'm done. That's my personal belief. I feel like that's what works best for me. If I take 2 losses in a day, I relax. I just relax. Give me one sec. I gotta shoot a text out, guys, and we'll keep it rolling. I apologize. Give me one sec. I'm texting Zach because he just hopped off. I'm gonna bitch him out. That's funny. Okay. Should we keep it rolling? Should we keep it rolling? Is everybody following? Everybody agreeing? Any questions? Give me a little bit of feedback if possible. Appreciate it, Johnny. Appreciate it, Spence. You guys are always on stream and engaging, so I appreciate that, man. AP3, my guy. AP3, I need to text you, man. I actually need to text you. Um, I have a deal that yeah, 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 yeah. It's 180 purchase price, 220 or 2200 a month. So I mean, on an and it's bought in cash already. So on a 80% expense ratio, I mean it's gonna cash flow like a motherfucker. Um, Give me one sec, guys. Un momento. Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Ordering a new watch. No, so I'm not buying watches for any other reason but to make money. Like these next few days, I'm gonna start scaling into some watches because I know that I'm going to make money off of them. I just know in my heart of hearts. Like GMTs at peak bull market prices were trading at 56K for a Sprite GMT. Right now they're depends. 17.5, 18, really depends. Thing is, I can also pay in crypto, which is fantastic. IRS did not say that. Um, but yeah, we'll keep it rolling. We'll keep it rolling. We'll get back on topic. But 1-to-1 ratio requires at least a 50% win rate to break even and becomes increasingly risky as the win rate drops. At a 2-to-1 ratio, you can have a 40% win rate, or at a 2-to-1 ratio with a 40% win rate, your chance of losing capital is reduced. Yeah, Kaz, I'm gonna pick up a Nautilus, bro. I'm gonna pick up a Nautilus. I have an AP already, but I want a Naughty. Successful trading strategies require focus not just on finding good entries, but also on ensuring favorable risk to return. Right. So that's another thing as well. If you're, let's say you get in, how do I explain this? Let's say you get in at a very low price. So we'll go on a random coin. So like Jup, right? There is a massive difference between these two trades right here. Obviously, you guys all know this. You guys all know this. Un momento, dude. I gotta tend to this. Okay. Um, so obviously, there's a massive difference between these two trades. So here you have a 17, 18% invalidation. Here you have a 40% validation. Both are at the same entry price. Both are great entries, relatively. Don't look at the future price action of the chart. But actually, probably not the best example. I'd like to do it a little bit lower. But let's say you were risking $100 on this trade, right? If you were risking $100 on this trade, that $100 would now be $170. If you were risking $100 on this trade, this $100 would now be you would be $76 in profits. Like, although you have the same entry point, obviously where your invalidation is going to depend, or is going to have some effect on the amount that you're going to get out of the trade, right? So just make sure that your risk is always managed, right? Make sure that you're entering a trade knowing what you stand to win and what you stand to lose. Always, always, always. What do you stand to win from a trade? What do you stand to lose from the trade? Always. There are more caveats than just RR. Obviously, like I said, win rate is important as well. But going into trades, make sure you know what you have, what you stand to gain, and what you stand to lose. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. So, developing a solid trading plan. So, successful trader, experienced traders, they always have a plan before entering a trade. Kind of what we talked about. It helps you make decisions based on objectivity rather than subjectivity, right? If you know where you're going to take profit and where your invalidation is going to be, it's a lot more objective than just, hey, I think this coin's showing some weakness. I'm going to close out of the trade. It's like, well, what was your plan going into it? I didn't have one. You didn't have a plan going into a trade that you're risking your own money on? You're risking your own money and you have no plan for it whatsoever. Just think about that holistically. It's just not it's just not realistic for you guys. Also, set profit goals daily, weekly, monthly, whatever is best fit for you to avoid over trading. I sometimes fall victim to over trading. I feel like a lot of very experienced traders, specifically people who are trading daily, obviously fall victim to over trading. It can be difficult because if you go on a heater, you want to keep it rolling, but then you end up giving some back, and then it's difficult. It's something that you have to manage, right? But consistency is key. Consistent small compounding of your portfolio. Consistent small compounding of your portfolio. You don't always have to swing for the fences. You really don't always have to swing for the fences. What we've talked about earlier, stick to time frames that align with your trading style, right? If you don't have the time to be managing a trade that you're taking on an M5 or an M3 or an M1, then just don't take it. Focus more on swing trading, on scalp trading. It's a lot easier to be in swing trades and manage swing trades than it is to consistently be at your computer and manage lower time frame trades. And like we've talked about this entire workshop, I love trading low time frame. I love it. I have so much fun doing so, but I also have the time for it. Not everybody has the time for it. Not everybody has the time for it. Obviously, something small that I think everybody should do, keep a trading journal. Keep a trading journal of your net profit, net losses on specific trades, but also the trading setups that you're taking. Right? Are you playing a reclaim? Are you bidding an imbalance? Are you playing an M15 pivot like Rigo? Keep a journal of the setups that you're taking as well as the net profit on loss on the trades that you're taking as well. If you do that, you'll be able to identify, okay, this is what's been working for me in current market conditions. Like, hey, my 3 losses this month were shorting. Maybe I should chill with the shorting for a little bit. Or my 3 losses this week were on shorting. Maybe I should chill with the shorting for a little bit. Mastering market psychology. This will probably be the last thing we go into just because it's 12 and I think some people are popping on. Rigo, I see you in chat. Do you have a stream coming up? I apologize if I'm cutting into your time at all, man. Very, very, very basic stream purely for beginners today. He might not be here, but yeah, Rigo, do you have a stream popping up? No? Okay, okay. I didn't know if you I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Rigo, feel free to chime in anywhere you want. I'm trying to set this up really for beginners. We've went over, obviously, there are people who are trading right now without even having a trading view. I I don't understand how you can be doing that, but it is what it is. And then obviously identifying what strategy works best for you based on your time constraints. I feel like that's not something that a lot of people touch on. A lot of our focus while streaming has been on technical analysis and price action and levels that we're looking at to long or short coins. But I wanted to tap into a little bit more holistically, um, holistically how to set yourself up to trade. But Yeah, well, start hopping into market psychology. And I say avoid impulsive decisions based on greed or fear. That's not easy to do. You guys got to remember that. Like, don't beat yourself up about it if you make mistakes. I can send you the PDF, brother. I can send you the PDF. I'll probably put it in my channel. But if you make impulsive decisions and you make mistakes, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. But if you make consistent mistakes that are the exact same thing, it's no longer a mistake, man. It's a choice. It's a choice. You're choosing to make that mistake if you're making it repeatedly. It's no longer a mistake. One time, two time, I get it. I get it. I really do. We've all been there. If anybody says they haven't been there, they were born with a gift or they're lying. They were born with a gift or they're lying. We've all been there. And accept your losses, right? When you're wrong on a position, when your idea is invalidated, cut your ego, man. I have so much ego. I have so much ego. It's hard for me to say, hey, I'm wrong. But that's a part of the trading journey that we're all on. You have to be able to say, hey, this idea is invalidated. This idea is invalidated. I was wrong. It's hard for a lot of people to do that. So I understand. I understand. Something just to touch on, specifically when it comes to leverage trading. I talked about it a little bit in chart ideas and in my channel. DCA. I'm seeing a lot of people who are DCAing positions just for the sake of, hey, I want to get my entry price lower. And I understand that if we're talking about a macro scale and it's a project that you believe in, but from a lower time frame, a leveraged position, DCA only when it makes sense. Don't DCA just to get your entry price lower because you might just be fucking scooping the water out of the ocean into your sinking ship, man. You might be fucking creating more holes in your sinking ship. So just beware of that. Beware of that. If it makes sense to DCA, if you're coming up on a key level that's still above your invalidation and you think, hey, there's a chance we can bounce from this level, it might be a good idea to DCA. Or you even went into that trade knowing, hey, if we start going back down to X or Y support or resistance, then I'll add to my position. Right? There are times where I'm letting you guys know beforehand, hey, I'm going to DCA on this if I'm given the chance. Never will you see me enter a position, then randomly just say, hey, I DCA'd here. Never. Never. That's not the way that I trade. That's not the way that any of you guys should trade. That's how I had my biggest loss, by DCing a trade that was nuking. Right, exactly. Oh, fuck, it's got to go back up. It's going to go back up. It's going to go back up. It's going to go back up. Account blown. It's hard, man. It's hard. I get it. I get it. It's very difficult. There's a reason that so many retail traders are unsuccessful. It's very, very, very difficult. But that's what this is all about. I'm trying to help you guys streamline the process as much as possible. I wish that I had somebody in my corner telling me all these things and drilling it into my head. And sure, a lot of you guys, it's going to go over your head. I get it. I do. I do. You look at me, you're like, why the fuck would I take advice from that guy? I wouldn't take advice from me. No, that's a joke. But um, even if 4 or 5 or 6 of you, if this sticks with you guys and it helps you out, then my job's done. Then my job's done. I'm just trying to streamline it all for you and talk to you about the mistakes that not only myself have made, but hundreds of other experienced and prolific traders have made along their journey. Thank you, Still Knox. I appreciate it. We can start going into a little bit back testing, right? If there's a strategy that you want to implement, start thinking about back testing it and also forward testing. I'm actually a firm believer in forward testing more than I am in back testing. I know a lot of people might not agree with me on that, but the thing is, okay, if I go into this trade knowing what future price action is going to look like on Jupiter, right? I know that it's going to go up. If I'm back testing, then chances are I'm going to be looking long-sided because I already had that bias. So forward testing for me is really just, hey, let's just go. Forward testing for me is, hey, I have this setup that I'm looking at. I'm not going to take it. I'm not very confident with market conditions, and I'm not just confident in my trading as a whole right now. So what do? I just take. If I was going to take this trade, this is how I take it. I watch, I see how it played out. Okay, that played out. Maybe I can be a little bit more risk on. Maybe my read is on right now. maybe I can start to take these trades with capital, specifically for beginners, right? A lot of people don't know when to start actually deploying capital versus being on a demo trading account. I always recommend, until you feel absolute supreme confidence in your ability to manage your risk and in your ability to manage expectations, you should not be trading with a sizable amount of capital relative to your total net worth. It's just a recipe for disaster. It's just a recipe for fucking disaster. But yeah, forward testing has been huge for a lot of the people that I've taught, a lot of people that I've done one-on-ones with. Forward test your stuff. If there's a trade that you want to take but you don't have confidence in it yet, forward test it. See how it played out. Hey, it worked out. Then you take another one. It didn't work out. Then you take three more, and all three of those work out. Then you take another one, and it doesn't work out. And now you're 4-2 on the day. It's like, okay, if I would have stuck to my strategy here, and if I would have played it out with real capital, then I would be up 2R on the day. So now maybe I can start to implement some of my capital slowly, not all at once, slowly, nice and slow, nice and slow. It's super, super, super. Kaz, thanks for stopping by, brother. Hey, I'll shoot you a DM. Oh yeah, I'll shoot you a DM. You got a good AD for sure. How do you forward test? Right here, Frobank. So, okay, let's just say, hey, meme. This is a replay, but meme. I like the level that meme's at. This is a setup that I would take. Granted, what we're doing right now is back testing. Forward testing is just doing it in real time. But like meme, okay, I want to take this setup. Jesus Christ, this coin is choppy. Okay, meme. It's playing out, right? Granted, I took a long position knowing that meme was going to be trading higher in the coming days because I already had that bias determined, right? Like I saw the chart beforehand. However, meme, I have no idea what the next few days are going to look like on it. So forward testing is just like back testing, but not having that bias already in your head, right? Like if you're back testing BTC and you know the overall trend is up, then you're going to be more inclined to look at longs. There's no way to possibly spin that otherwise. So for me, yeah, like something I always tell people when I'm talking about my own journey and I'm talking about how they can build their own trading style out based on their time constraints, based on the amount of capital that they have. I always say, hey, just forward test a little bit before you start really dumping some capital into your trades. Super simple, super simple. And yeah, there's going to be times where a trade plays out and you don't have any chips on the table. You're like, fuck, I wish I executed on that. I still do that. You guys see me in my channel every day saying, fuck, fumbled that. Should I execute it on? And what that tells me is just, okay, lack of confidence right now in my trading. Why is that? It's normally one of two reasons. A, I'm uncertain about the macro scale based on news drops or Bitcoin dominance or whatever it may be if I'm playing an alt. Or B, I struggle with recency bias in my trading a lot. And that's not something that's like easy for me to say. Like I struggle with that. I'm being vulnerable about it. If I take a loss in my trading, yes, it's a part of the process. We all take losses. However, I'm just less inclined to execute in the coming hours. I'm one who's just, okay, I took a loss. Let's take a break for a little bit, because throughout my trading journey, I've seen my own personality and I know myself well enough to say, hey, what's best for me is just stepping away after a trade. Collect my thoughts, wait for a new setup. I don't need to get right back into a trade. I don't need to do it as much as I want to be. Understand that no trader wins 100% of their trades. Setups that are textbook, the setups that I preach to you guys, there are textbook setups. You have the deviation, you have the reclaim, you have the volume, and it doesn't play out. Why does it play out? Well, because South Korea just enacted martial law. Like, I can't control that. I can't control that. I wish I could. I wish I was in control in South Korea, but I'm not. Um, so yeah, be realistic. You know, you're gonna have trades that are losses. That's not a problem unless your risk isn't managed. You know, right when I see people freaking out in general chat or in active questions like, hey, I'm down bad, It's so easy to tell what's going on. Somebody's just not managing their risk. And I'm not condemning you for that. It's not, I don't have the right to do that. I don't have the right to condemn you for doing that. However, I can say, hey, you might be being an idiot if you do it one, two, three, four, five, six times in a row. If it's consistent and you're constantly doing it, man, if you can't control your emotions in the game, you might be better suited elsewhere. Honestly, honestly. And I know that a lot of you guys don't want to hear that, but you can get caught in this trap where you're consistently funding your account from your actual, Oh, my dog's freaking out. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Come on. Come on. So yeah, just like we're gonna wrap it up here shortly because she's freaking out. So I'm gonna have to tend to her. But last thing I'll end on: stick to your trading plan, right? If you're tempted to deviate, walk away from your setup, man. Close your computer down. It's so difficult to do, guys. I understand it. I understand it. So what do you do at those times? When you want to be in a position so bad, you want to make back that loss so bad. You go and you put in general chat, or you put in chart ideas, or you put in active questions. You ask me a question. Hey, should I be doing this? I would have no problem saying to you guys, hey, probably not a good idea. Just relax. You'll get it back down the line. But yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. It's about an hour and 10 minutes. I feel like we covered a lot of stuff. Like I said, a lot of it was super elementary. A lot of you guys know this stuff, but hopefully, me saying it to you and kind of trying to drill it into your brains was helpful. What's wrong, baby? But yeah, perfect, guys. I'm really glad you all joined. Like 85 members. That's great. I love to see that. I love to see that. You guys are all super, super, super active. So I fucking love that as well. Um, the more activity I get, the more valuable I feel. Right? We all as humans, we all just want to feel valuable. Right? At the end of the day, just want to feel valuable. So the more and more engaged, and the more and more engaged, the more and more active you guys are, the more content I'm inclined to put out. Just because it's like, hey, these guys want it, so I'm gonna give it. Pause. That's what she said. But all right, guys, dog's freaking out as you can hear, so I'll let you guys roll. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Next Wednesday, we're going to delve in a little bit more. I have basically like 20 steps. It's a lot, I know, but we'll go over it all. All right. I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one. Peace, peace.